What if I told you that as an ex-athlete, you can actually lose fat faster than the regular person, even if you have a lot of weight to lose, like 30 pounds or more? And even if you have less time to exercise than you used to. Well, it's true, because if you used to be an athlete, your body is not the same as a beginner's. And you've probably noticed by now that most weight loss advice is not tailored to ex-athletes like you. The rules for fat loss and maintaining those results for life look a little different for you, and that's okay, because you also have a huge advantage when it comes to that. I've worked with hundreds of ex-athletes, and there is a system that does work best. It doesn't involve living in the gym, and it doesn't involve eating like a bodybuilder. This is the exact process I take all of the teammates in the Look Like an Athlete program through. And I know that it can work for you too, because I'm going to break it down right now. I'm going to pretend that I'm in your shoes, and I'll tell you the exact 3 phases that I would go through if I wanted to lose at least 30 pounds, get lean, strong, gain confidence and all-day energy, and both look and feel like an athlete again. Let's break it down. The first thing I would do is make exercise a habit again. Most people try to fix their diet first, and although most of your results are going to come from your diet, it's much harder to fix your diet. Exercise, on the other hand, is much easier to start. It's also easier to stack wins and much easier to build momentum with. And this momentum is going to carry over into other areas of your fitness. And it starts to make motivation irrelevant, because when you have the habit of working out, you have better energy, and you also increase the likelihood that you are going to be consistent with the lifestyle and diet habits that you're working on, because those things end up helping make your habit of working out even better. So with that in mind, I would get into the gym 3 times a week with the goal of getting strong and moving well. That's it. Not to burn calories, not to do any of these fancy functional movements, not to do HIIT cardio, which by the way is not real HIIT cardio, and not do circuit training with light weights and high reps. Get strong, move well, strength train, and do mobility. I would always have good form, and I would always check my ego at the door. That'd be how I approach my workouts. But then as for burning more calories each day, I'd focus on whatever method that gets me moving and I enjoy it the most. Right now, for me personally, that's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and walking everywhere I go. But before I started doing Jiu-Jitsu, it was hiking and biking. If I worked in an office, I would take movement breaks as often as I could, because they also increase my productivity, whether that's every hour, after every meal, or if I just move at the start and end of each day. It wouldn't really matter when I did it, because the goal is just to get moving more often and doing it in a way that doesn't feel like a chore. That would be my focus in the first few months. But in the first few weeks, I would also start dipping my toes into the nutrition side of things. And I'd use the momentum that I was building from doing workouts consistently to start making small nutrition changes over time. But before I can do any of that though, I have to create a metric fuck ton of awareness around my nutrition. So I would start by tracking my food for at least a week without changing anything about my diet, because I want to know how it looks right now, not how it looks when I'm on my best behavior. Good, bad, or downright ugly, I need to know where I'm really starting from, so that I can start moving towards where I want to go. Once I'm crystal clear on exactly how my diet looks, I'm going to list out all the things I could possibly work on. From lack of overall structure to too many bad habits like late night snacking, I'd list it all. And then from that list, which is probably like a dozen or so things at most, I'd pick 1 or 2 things to work on every few weeks and only move on to the next 1 or 2 things once I feel like I'm really confidently doing those things and those focuses are no longer difficult. And then it's as simple as rinsing and repeating that process until all the holes in my diet are fixed. Realistically, that process is only going to take about a few months. But depending on how much weight I want to lose, the process itself is probably going to take much longer than that in order for me to reach my goal. So I would make sure to lose weight in a way that is sustainable and that I'm maximizing fat loss. That would mean that I alternate from being in phases where I'm in a calorie deficit, followed by maintenance periods. And the goal would be to follow these 2 things back and forth until I either get to my goal weight or my goal body, whichever one comes first. And I want to say that again, until I reach my goal weight or my goal body, whichever comes first. Most people think they have a weight goal, and some do, and it's totally fine if you do. I have never minded when teammates come to me with a weight goal in mind, because it is a target that can be useful. But along the way, if you feel great in your body, you're strong, you move well, you have great energy, you're as lean as you want to be, your body doesn't ache, and your mood is fantastic, then I couldn't care less what the number on the scale is. And I don't think you should either. Anyway, once we get to the point where you're at your goal body, goal weight, whichever came first, it's a really great idea to do a strategic reverse diet to ramp up your metabolism and make your calories at maintenance as high as possible, because this is going to let you have more wiggle room so that you can live your best life and maintain the results for life. So now, with training and nutrition taken care of, I would move on to lifestyle habits, which is really important for longevity, because fitness isn't meant to control your life or tear your body and mind down. It's meant to work around your life and build your body and mind up so that you can become your most well-rounded self. So I would tackle things like sleeping as much as I can, having hobbies that I love, working on self-limiting and false beliefs, whether it's about fitness or life in general, creating champion mentality myself, maintaining social connections, being present with my friends and family, managing stress in positive ways that don't involve screen time, and choosing other methods of activity that I enjoy most, whether it's sports, hiking, biking, swimming, or whatever. This sounds like a lot, but just like with nutrition, I would pick 1 or 2 things at a time and give them my effort and not move on from them until they feel easy. Say, for example, if I started with sleeping more and having purposeful hobby time. And by then, I would have totally transformed my life. I would have lost weight, built better habits, felt good in my body, learned a lot about myself, and showed up better for everybody else in my life in the process. Everyone's journey looks a little bit different, but at the end of the day, this is the process and the overall structure that I've seen work incredibly well. It's helped me over my 19-year journey in fitness, and it's helped hundreds of Look Like an Athlete teammates, like Tanner, who lost 70 pounds and got back to playing football without ever giving up beer and barbecue or time with his friends, or Karen, who got back to her varsity basketball weight from 30 years before, even after having 2 kids and working a busy finance job, or Kent, who became so unrecognizable by family friends that they introduced themselves to him at a function because his body had changed so much. Or even like Jacqueline, who dropped 30 pounds and no longer needed knee surgery because she was able to strengthen her body up so much. So if you're an ex-athlete who looks in the mirror and wonders what happened, and you remember how lean, strong, and confident you used to feel, and you're ready to take action so you can look and feel like an athlete again, and use fitness as a vehicle to show up better in every area of your life, both for yourself and for your loved ones, then go to the link in the description so that you can learn more about the Look Like an Athlete program. And then if you want to join the team, you're either going to email me at spencer@looklikeanathlete.com or DM me on Instagram at Spencer Sharp Fitness. We'll see if you're a good fit and then go from there. Talk soon.